exciting to be back with you all for the first episode of 2025. Well, the first episode that I'm releasing, should I say. But welcome back to the Venusian Oasis podcast. I am your host, Portia Williams, and like February is upon us. February's here. And I've been just kind of like anticipating this episode or this month because I love to talk about love. Like I love to explore love and all of those feelings that you get pertaining to love. If you've heard anything from the first season, and again, I have not yet explored it, I am a widow, a mother of two. I have two little humans that I just absolutely adore. This will be my third February as a widow. The first two were, of course, this whole thing, just healing, trying to come into this new person I was becoming. This is year 3. And now that I have the podcast, I just wanted to start out with talking about the thing that really, really can bind and shape your entire life, which is talking about love. I'm not sure how many episodes I'm going to release this month. I feel like it's a lot because there's so many layers of topics to talk about in love. Oh, here, I do not want to do this whole episode with my ear thingies in. So I'm going to take them out. So there's so many layers that in love that we're able to explore and talk about. And one that really gets me in this season, I'm not even going to go into it. I'm going to just start with a story. There's this beautiful woman, and she meets this guy. He is kind and loving, and all he has eyes for is her. She walks in the room. He swoops in. He's just willing to give his everything. When he comes home, he can almost read her mind as he's getting to, not even home, as he's getting to like know her. He can read her mind. She never has to tell him what she wants. She never has to, because as soon as she thinks to want it, he gets it for her. He can't get enough of her. Every waking moment of his life is just surrounding her and tending to every need that she has. If she wants something, he just does it. She doesn't even have to want. He figures it out already. And then he proposes to her with this big, fat diamond ring. If that's your thing. You marry him and you all live happily ever after. And that's it. Doesn't that just sound like, every woman's dream? You are in a Disney story, when in reality, it's more like lies. So in this episode, I want to discuss the false narratives that we as women are fed and told when we are in this hot pursuit of love. What the world says love is versus what love really is. The first one that I want to touch on is this idea. It is so difficult for me to social media because there's this narrative floating out in the world that says, I don't need no man. I'm great by myself. I can raise my baby by myself. Which makes me laugh because I'm here to tell you today, in widowhood, who chooses this? Well, I can tell you who chooses this. Here's some stats. In the United States, approximately 69% of divorces are initiated by women. I don't believe that any woman should stay in a space where she is being abused, harmed, where anyone is being hurt. But even personally, some of the reasons that I hear that women are divorcing blow my mind. And they blow my mind because with God in the center of your life, it doesn't have to be so. So I want to know why are women filing for divorce? What is the reason for that? And I understand. I was a wife before. We get exhausted. They don't listen. There's no intimacy. He doesn't even care that I'm there. I'm carrying the entire load. I have his kids and he's always gone with his friends. He promised he would stop doing this and he still does. He doesn't even know what I like. It's painful to feel like you love someone and you're sacrificing and he's not. Get it. Got it. There are instances where women are failing to understand what a male's love actually looks like, what he does for you. If he's a good man, not all men are good men. Not all women are good women. Not all women were made to be wives. Not all men are husbands. Some are really good boyfriends. Some women are really good girlfriends. A husband's job is to protect and provide. But I think in the world today, we have this idea of what the provide part is. I keep seeing these clips. I saw this girl the other day. She was divorcing her husband because when she married him, he was making a ton of money. In the midst of this, he gets laid off from his job. In looking for a job, she was also working. But in looking for a job, he asked her for the next 2 months, she had to pay their mortgage. She had to pay the bills because he was out of work and looking. She divorced him because he would not agree to pay her the money back. I'm going to say that again. She divorced her husband because he wouldn't agree to pay her back the money that she had to pay because he was laid off. I don't know. You never loved him anyway. You never, like those types of women, those types of divorces, that is not love. Like, no, in that situation, she's never loved him. She's never loved him. But it's this false Disney narrative that women have. It's this false narrative that he's supposed to come into my life. I meet someone, he's fine, he has a career. Not only does he have a career making all of this money, but he has all of this time for me and the children, and he does what I want, but he's supposed to be out. Like men in society today, my purview is they're getting a raw deal because we've been so conditioned by the Disney Channel. We've been conditioned by Disney to believe that love looks like that. Love is Beauty and the Beast. I meet you, I tame you, you only want me, and I live the rest of my life in a castle. And that is not that is not what love is. Love is so free and it's so filling and it's so much bigger than that. We're pushed this narrative that we need to look a certain way, be a certain way. So we emulate these women that are seen on TV. We emulate musicians or fashion shows or clothes, which is why in any given season, women are wearing and looking exactly alike because we're trying to emulate something that we have been pushed and told and given a definition of what beauty is. We're trying to become that. When who said that was cute? Who said, like, who's creating this standard for what beauty is? Who tells someone that this is pretty versus this is not? So that's also another narrative that I want you to think about. This beauty thing in love, right? If you're beautiful, you receive love. And that isn't even right or true. A lot of women who are beautiful are just kept women. They maybe marry someone and there's no love actually in it. Another narrative is, and I've been here, I'm guilty of it. We tend to think that when we find someone that we're interested in or that we like, that we have to prove to him our worth, our value. So we give ourselves away. And when we give ourselves away, there's this space and time, this new line that I keep hearing, and it's so like, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense. This line, we were two consenting adults. So girl meets guy, gives her body to him. You never get the marriage or the love that you want. And the way that you reconcile it in your mind is we were two consenting adults. When in reality, you're still not getting the love that you desire, the love that you really want from someone. False narrative. Let me make this clear. I'm no feminist. When I tell you I am no feminist, I believe that women should be allowed to vote. We should be able to operate in the most beautiful and powerful feminine energy. I don't want to be a man. I don't want to be treated like, if I got arrested, and thank you, Lord, I've never been arrested before. If I got arrested, please, I would never want to be slammed, tussled, thrown to the ground like a dude would. I'm not a man. I am not physically as strong as a man. Could I train my body to run like a man? I could do that, but I am no man, and I don't want to be. I want to be treated like a feminine vessel, like the vessel that I was created to be. I want to be treated like a soft girl. I want to get flowers. I want to be treated nicely. I don't want to go outside and like cut the grass. Quick story. I think I might have told it last season. My kids go outside, and this was probably in 2023. And they're like, Mommy, I want to play in the trampoline in the backyard. Okay, fine. Have at it. I'm sitting in my living room. From my living room, I can see like my whole yard. They go outside. They're jumping for about 5 minutes. They come back in the house, screaming bloody murder. Mommy, there's a snake in the yard. I'm somewhere between absolutely terrified and on the verge of tears, because these are the things that now I have to deal with now that he's gone. Like, you guys gonna come to me? Like, you're gonna come to me and ask me to save my kids from a snake? I'm from Cali. In my whole existence in California, Southern California, I never seen a snake anywhere outside of the zoo. I get up, I put on big rain boot, and I go outside, and I'm like shrugging through the yard, nice and slow. I see it. I think it was like a garden snake. I don't know. He was brown. I don't know. And this thing is squirming around. It was eating something. And if you're on YouTube, you can see me show like how big it was. So he was about this big. And when I see it wiggling and squirming, of course I scream, ah! Like, I had to look at it to see it's real. I scream, freak out. And as I'm starting to slowly back away from it, I look down at my left foot, and there's another one. I lost it. I screamed so loud. I'm surprised like neighbors in the neighborhood didn't come like, oh my gosh, is everything. I screamed so loud. I run inside. And at the time, some of my late husband's fraternity brothers, they don't live too far. So I called one specifically, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I know it's probably in the middle of your work day, but can you please come and help me? 2 snakes. He comes over, doesn't kill him. He puts him in a bag, and he like takes him off to release him. As he left that day, I was like, that is not a job that I want. Is it a job that I can do? Yes. Another narrative is this feminist ideology that is being pressed upon women in the name of girl power, which is honestly taking us far away from the love and the things that we say that we want. I don't want to kill a lizard. I want to be able to scream and go, ah, and he come and get it. Like, not my job. Now, hey, there may be women out there that really, really enjoy that. That really, really, I don't want to walk like a man. I don't want to be in masculine energy. So that is yet another thing. But men who are looking, qualified men who are looking for love and are looking for a woman to be his helpmeet, they're not, men don't care about your degree, not real ones. Some men, yes, they want to get with you because I would prefer to stay home and you fund my life. I've met those. I know those who actually game and play women to get money. There's plenty of those. But a man who has his business together and he's taking care of things and he's acquiring assets and he's living a certain way, they don't care how much money you make. Like they're not, it isn't like, ooh, she makes 300K. Like that's not what they're looking for. And they're not looking for a broken bird either. They're not looking for that either. Who are you? Are you a soft place for me to come? Are you whole and complete by yourself in your womanhood? Are you a feminine woman? That's what I think a lot of men are looking for. Are you a feminine woman? Are you soft? Men, think about a lion. Think about lions in general. The female lions stay together in the pride. They have their babies. On the day-to-day life, they tend to their cubs. They hunt zebra. They go after the antelope. They are it's a team. The girls are always together. This is giving a great analogy of the Venusian Oasis. The women are together. They encourage each other. They save each other. They have each other's back. Like they are looking out for each other. The males, as big and strong as they are, when you watch any show, the male is like laying and he's sleeping and he seems so lazy. Like sometimes I'm like the kids will come, he may paw at them for a minute, but the majority of his time he's asleep. When they hunt, he has first at the food. And I used to be like, I don't get it. They did all that work to take that zebra down, and he slowly gets up, he stretches, and when he walks over, everybody gets out of the way so that he can eat. What kind of world? Like, I don't understand. This is me about 4 or 5 years ago. I don't understand. Why is he eating first and he didn't hunt? Then not only that, there are days at a time that he goes and he patrols the perimeter of their territory. He's gone, so they may not see him for 2 or 3 days. What is the male lion doing during that time? He's checking to see if anyone has come in, if people have gone out. He's fighting. He's all kinds of things to protect their area, to ultimately protect the pride. Now, the reason he has to eat first, the reason that he has to get rest, the reason that the part with the cubs isn't necessarily his primary job is because when a threat comes knocking at the door, it is in his nature to be able to put his life on the line for every single female in his pride, every single cub in his pride. He is called upon to pay the ultimate price if he is not strong enough, if he is not aware enough, if he is not skilled enough to protect that he is in charge of. So a male lion, usually there's been rare cases. I love animals. So there's been rare cases where you've seen two males rule over a pride. But none of the females in the pride are trying to be him or wanting to like go and roam the pride. And when other male lions come in, she also is not like jumping in front of him to try to fight and give her life for him. He's on the front line. So it is naturally the way that God created us. It is in our nature. It is in his nature to protect and provide. If something goes down, a real man, he's jumping in front of his family. He's making a way for his family. A man is to love his wife the way Christ loves the church, right? And gave himself for it. So men have a much more steep responsibility when he takes on a wife. I need to make sure that you are a soft place. I need to make sure that you're solid with raising children. I need to make sure that you are trustworthy, that I can trust you with the most intimate parts of me. Because when I get up and I have to gird my loins and I have to step out into the world, I'm fighting battles that you don't even see while I'm roaming the pride, while I'm roaming the territory. So that narrative that women who attain success should attain this type of man, for men, that is not what they're looking for. That's a false narrative. If you want to get degrees, go get them. By all means, get 50 of them. But that in the realm of being attractive is not, that doesn't move the needle for real men. It doesn't. So in this episode, the main narratives that I just really, really wanted to touch on, I don't need no man. I'm only beautiful if I look a certain way. I'm just a consenting adult, so give myself away. The more successful I am, the more desirable I am. And bringing awareness to this feminist ideology. I do want to end this episode with telling you what love is. And as the next episodes, as we move through February, one of my favorite scriptures, I love reading. I love so many parts of the Bible. In 1 Corinthians, of course, most people know 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7, what actual love looks like. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not boast. Love is not proud. Love does not dishonor others. Love is not self-seeking. Love is not self-seeking. So if you're looking for love, love is not self-seeking. Love is not easily angered. Love also keeps no record of wrongs. Love keeps no record of wrongs. Love always protects. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. Love always trusts. Love always hopes. And love always perseveres. These qualities emphasize that love is merely not a feeling. Love is not a feeling. Love is not a feeling the way that the world perpetuates that love is. It's this happily ever after feeling. Love is not a feeling, but it's a deliberate, selfless action rooted in virtue and integrity. I want you to leave this episode encouraged. Not necessarily encouraged, but aware of what you're seeing, aware of what's happening in society as far as it pertains to women, because it breaks my heart to see so many women who they want to be married, and I think are beautiful wives, and they desire, but they're going about and doing things that are so contrary to what love is, and they're lost. I want you to be aware, you listening, I want you to be aware of what you're seeing, what you're taking in, what you are actually desiring, and what type of woman are you now, and what woman do you want to be. Love is full of abundance. Love is waiting for you. It wants you. Love wants to have you and consume you. I pray from this episode, as we dive into February, that you're able to just see love from a new, clear, truthful perspective. Yeah. So don't let them false narratives be pushed on you, right? Be aware. Just say no. Once again, I am Portia Williams. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Venusian Oasis podcast, season 2. Check me out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also, check out the YouTube channel for those who are not watching but listening to the audio. It has been amazing. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok and all of the social media. Thank you. Till next time.